Hey folks, Jerome Forestwood here. It's 2:13 p.m. on June 3rd, 2023 in East Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. It is 22 degrees outside on a sunny afternoon in the city. In this video, I walked for 2.5 kilometers starting in Grandview Woodland by the Transit bus stop at Commercial and Venables. Then stroll east on Venables, north on Victoria, east on East Hastings, ending my trek in Hastings-Sunrise by the Transit bus stop at East Hastings and Renfrew. If you would like to support the channel, click the heart icon to send me a super thanks. To receive updates, follow me on Instagram at jforestwood. And if you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button, share it, and subscribe. Hey folks, Jerome Forestwood here. Walking along Venables in East Vancouver. Venables is primarily a residential street here in Vancouver, but I plan to head on over to the neighborhood of Hastings-Sunrise to give you a little bit of a walk around there. But I also just finished filming an unnarrated video through Commercial Drive, which was actually very lively. So I guess you got something to look forward to if I haven't already posted the video. But I will be releasing it with this group of videos. If everything turns out right. There's the occasional corrupted file and so forth. It sucks, but par for the course, part of the job. There are a few businesses tucked in and about this strip of Venables. We passed a jewelry store earlier on. You might not have seen it. Oh, you got this nice little cafe or community center over here too. This would be actually the Vancouver East Cultural Center. Very cool. Call it the Clutch. Very apt for the drive. The Clutch. Let's cross the street. We're crossing Victoria Drive, and then we'll walk down Victoria Drive. Okay? Then we're going to walk north on Victoria Drive. There's a school we're walking by right now. That's St. Francis of Assisi. That's a common name for Canadian Catholic schools. Not sure if this is exactly a Catholic school, though, because there are other denominations in the area who have schools, so relatively smaller, but I just want to be cautious. It'd be a safe assumption if I was in Toronto, though, because I am from Toronto, so I know Toronto. That's still learning a few things, even though I'm 6 months in. I'm back after 20 years. Here's Adenac Street. That'd be the next street we would have walked up if we would have walked north on the Commercial Drive and Commercial Diversion from where we started. At the Commercial Diversion bus stop, just off of Venables and Commercial Drive. Here is the Westerdale building. And those buildings got a common name, a landmark that people use. And we're coming up to Scott's Grocery. And we're walking through the neighborhood of Grandview Woodland. Oh, it's called the Georgia General now. There's a sign outside that says Scott's Grocery, but it's the Georgia General. And it is a Canadian tradition to maintain old signs, especially if they got nostalgic value, which is something cool Canadians do. So obviously that Scott's Grocery sign is nostalgic. I haven't filmed specifically up this stretch of road yet, so that's why I did choose to turn up it. And I don't think I've been on this stretch of road since the last time I was actually living here as a resident, which would be 20 years ago. So obviously things have changed. This is what I wanted to actually check out over here, was the Bossa Food grocery store. It's got a little eating area outside, very quaint. Has a few other things inside, so very, very cool. Buono appetito. Well, that's Italian for you. So that's an Italian grocery store. That would make sense. Both Granby Woodland and specifically Granby Woodland has a little Italy area in it, but also the Hastings-Sunrise area has a large diaspora of Italians as well. And they tended to move from the drive over to the Hastings-Sunrise area sometime throughout their history in the last century. Now they're more predominantly over on Hastings-Sunrise, but there's still a definite presence of Italians within Little Italy along Commercial Drive. There you can see one of the mountains with a few of the ski hills in the background. Most of those will be turning into mountain bike trails and paths, so it'll be good to see some new videos with, fingers crossed, some more drier conditions for people like Van Can and Dangerous Dave and Dale Stone and BCPOV and Yuka Girl, hopefully. All those YouTubers who ride those mountain bikes for us every day, make some very enjoyable content. I don't know what would happen if I happened to meet some of those people. If they pulled up, I'd probably just start gagging. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. But very cool. We're coming up to East Hastings Street here. Now, generally I've started on the other side of the street, so I'm just going to turn the street here. There's a little bit of a school ground still, so deal with that. This is also a light industrial area mixed with a residential area. And you get across the street here, it becomes a little more light industrial. And we'll still technically be in the Grandview Woodland neighborhood until we cross over to Nanaimo Street. Then we're in the Hastings-Sunrise neighborhood. But the East Hastings, or East Village, Hastings BIA, or Business Approved Area, starts here. So we are in the East Village, more commonly referred to as the next neighborhood over, Hastings-Sunrise. So people use those kind of actually interchangeably. So you can gander from that what you want, but yeah, we're over in the East Village. I always thought that was very cool. There's lots of other East Villages, including over in New York City, so it's a name that, will catch on, especially if it resonates with other areas, around the world. But it's got its own vibe, so such is life. This is more of a working class neighborhood over here,
but because house prices have dramatically increased, people that did buy here recently when the houses were more affordable now have found themselves with a really, really wealthy property, which is good on them. But such is life here in Vancouver. Of course, the houses would be still a little more affordable over here than downtown or even on the far west side. Looks like someone's posing for a photo. I'm just gonna dash through quickly here too. Oh my gosh, this is cool. Very, very cool. Good on ya. And they got a Japa dog here too. Very cool. Guess if you're in motorcycles, that's the place to go. So even though we call this a working class neighborhood, it doesn't mean that people don't have money. It's just that the people who live in this area tend to do more blue collar jobs or those white collar jobs that demand hands-on. It's also attracting like young business people as well who may not be able to afford something as expensive downtown, but can afford a place for themselves over here too. At the intersection of East Hastings and Lakewood Drive. And it's our turn, so we'll cross. You can see new developments right over here too. And like that doesn't look too old. So like much of Vancouver, it is an area in transition. This area used to be more of a resort area back in the 1910s and 1930s, with Brighton Beach being the focal point over by Brighton Park, and there was a resort over there. And then working class people lived over here. They tried to make it a little bit of a resort getaway for the province's capital at the time. That was New Westminster. But of course, Gastown just became way more popular, so that became the go-to place. But this place has maintained its own vibrancy. Passing Nona's Casino, which is little kitchen and bar. Very cool. And the Jam Forest. I always like that name. It's very neat. It just sticks in your head. It's a forest, but Jam Forest. Oh, cool. So this would be the intersection of East Hastings and Templeton. And we'll continue to walk across here. And we're walking east on East Hastings. Some people may be asking, well, you're on East Hastings. Isn't that a bad place to be? No, East Hastings isn't a bad place to be. There goes the scooterist. Very cool. I'm loving it. And motorcyclists as well. You guys rock. If any of you are watching, just let you know you guys rock. Put a smile on my face. Anyways, no, East Hastings isn't a bad street. But what you do hear in the news is the 4 blocks of East Hastings from around Carroll Street over to Princess Ave. That's the place that a lot of people tend to avoid. This is a completely different neighborhood, and it is vibrant and alive and a lovely place to come. So come on over here to this neighborhood. We're coming up to Nanaimo Street here, but East Village starts here, and once we cross over to Nanaimo Street up here, we'll be into the Hastings-Sunrise neighborhood. But we've been in, like I said before, the East Village for a while now. Here's a local church chicken, and in Canadian fashion, what would it be without having a vehicle with a canoe on top in the summertime? Or late spring. Technically, I believe summer starts around June 20th or 21st. You can correct me if I'm getting that wrong. Lived a while now. A lot of things in that head. Passing the DM produce store. Excuse me. Just a slight tinge of smoke in the air, and nothing to stop us yet. That might be dust, I'm not sure. Probably dust. I have a slight allergy to dust, to be honest with you. There's also a bit of pollen that's floating around in the air as well, so yeah, you're not just breathing in fresh air here. Not all the time. But it's pretty clean air. Crossing over Nanaimo Street. And just passing the Eggs Canada cannabis store. And here's the local laundry store if you need it. This is an area that tourists often don't come to, but tourists, I recommend that you do come and check it out. It's a fun neighborhood. There's lots of different foods and restaurants and cafes, and it's real close to the Burnaby border as well. And because we crossed over across Nanaimo Street now, we are in the Hastings-Sunrise neighborhood. I think they just keep coming and looping back, going off the streets and coming back. No scooters. Very cool. Over here, just like a lot of other places in Vancouver, they got one of those little picnic areas they made out of an old part of the street they're not really using anymore. And the local branch of the Van City Bank is here, so if you're a member of that and you're in the neighborhood, this is probably where you come. Well, that's really loud. Keep revving that engine for me every 10 seconds or so. That'll help me fight the copyright complaints from your large vehicle. That's my problem to handle, not yours. He'll be gone pretty soon. Very cool. Nice bike. I'll keep walking here, just past the Vietnamese tea house. Got some really good food in there, so it's worth coming down and checking that out. And you got Laksa King up here. One of the places to come for some really good laksa. Other places to come for good laksa would be Mama Lee. And of course you can find a really good Singapore laksa if you want from banana leaf. That's really good, but the Malaysian latkes I found are just a little more what I tend to like, a little spicier, a little more flavorful. That's just my opinion. We got the local London Drugs across the street. Like I've said, if you're not aware of what London Drugs is here on the West Coast, that's a cross between a Walgreens and a Walmart, or a Canadian Tire and a Shoppers Drug Mart. And you can get everything from a kayak to your keys cut in that place. This would be the intersection of East Hastings and Penticton. You can see a little bit of the mountains on the left side of the tree. And it's our turn, so let's go. So you're in this neighborhood and you're wondering where all the pigeons are. There may be a few pigeons here and there, but this is predominantly territory for crows, and crows are a lot smarter. They're one of the most intelligent birds out there, apparently. I've seen them do some pretty amazing things being here in British Columbia and Vancouver, so I can attest to that. Here's another Italian restaurant over here called Classica Italia, or more of a grocery store. You can see an Italian influence. Of course, Italian restaurants and Greek restaurants, or grocery stores, Italian grocery stores and Greek grocery stores will often have seats inside and a few seats out front, so you can come and sit down, enjoy some food. And Vietnamese grocery stores and Chinese grocery stores sometimes do that too, which is very cool. This, I believe, is the Sunrise Hastings, or Hastings-Sunrise branch. Nope, I was wrong. It's just the Vancouver Public Library Hastings branch. Love those public library doors, bright yellow. Can't miss them. We'll keep walking east here on East Hastings through the East Village in the Hastings-Sunrise neighborhood. Coming up the Slocan Street here. I was recently on Slocan Street on the Kingsway. So this is a really long street, folks. It goes north to south right across Vancouver. Very cool. And a lot of these streets that parallel Slocan Street also do the same thing. Over here on the east side of Vancouver, passing a really large Chat Time bubble tea shop. So that helps. Obviously is a very popular place over here. And bubble tea in general is more popular over here in Vancouver than it is in other places. Even when I lived in Toronto, I didn't get a hankering for it as much. It was widely available, but not as widely available as here in Vancouver. So, Bay likes to test that too. But he's seen back over in Asia when he was living in Asia. It's more of a Pan-Asian thing. That's cool. And there is more of a Pan-Asian influence here in Vancouver, even though there's a strong prevalence of Asian diasporas in Toronto. There goes the Let's Explore Together bus. That one takes you over here, of course. And probably we'll be going to the P&E grounds, which are very, very close. Where those large group of trees are starting to form across the other side of the street. That would be the P&E grounds. I'm going to walk over to Renfrew Street. This is the intersection of East Hastings and Keslow. It's our turn, so we'll cross. And I'm just going to cross to the other side of the street. We're at the intersection. Oh, I already said that. Anyways, there's Keslow and East Hastings again for you. It's our turn to cross, so we'll cross. If you are in the neighborhood, over here is where you can find the local Tim Hortons. Right here. And what would a sawed-off neighborhood be in Vancouver without a Dairy Queen? Well, probably not a sawed-off neighborhood. So this is obviously a sawed-off neighborhood. This is a place that lots of people would consider living. And it does support a lot of both transit. R5 goes through this neighborhood. It's the rapid bus. As well as you're not more than 20-minute walk from the Millennium Line if you just head south on Renfrew here. And the sidewalks are huge for pedestrians, as well as catering to multiple lanes and parking lanes for cars. So an all-around neighborhood that caters well to both tourists, but more focused towards families and locals. And just because it's off the beaten path too, it's not that much of a tourist neighborhood. We are passing the Atrium Inn right now, but that's because of this place is more of a hotel over here because of its proximity to the P&E grounds. And there's a little fair in there. It's supposed to be opening soon if it hasn't opened already, with the roller coaster and stuff like that. So once that opens up, a lot of people will be coming over here. Just crossing Renfrew Street. You can see the 16-hour Butis bus coming in there. Comes all the way down here. Impressive, eh? Anyways, folks, thanks for coming along, and just remember to please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later, okay? Have a good day.